Hello, thank you for being here. We didn't prepare our slides in English, so I will make the translation at the same time. Arlindo and we have, I don't know how to put it in, we had
Good work.
a project, and we decided to start because we are studying and discussing for a long time the communities' representations about climate change. I heard Mariam, and our work, it's also, you have talked about that, but our issue is representations, farmers' representations about the climate change. We decided to study for now Cape Verde, the island of Santo Antão, which is the greenest island in Santo Antão. It has, let me see if I can, okay. It is very, how do you say, Arlindo, accident? How,
Accident. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the landscape is like this, so very green, because Santo Antão has one side of the island is very green and the other side is very, oops, nope, I need to put my glasses. And the other side is very dry. So we work mainly in the green area with farms, and it was very interesting. I will stop to because normally I have some slides, but I start to speak and I forget the slides. So the climate in Santo Antão is tropical, dry tropical. It has mainly two different
Rainy seasons.
Seasons, yeah, seasons, and the seasons, the drier season, it's between November and June, and the rainy season, it's between June and October. So the highland has lots of microclimates, very interesting, and lots of microclimates. I don't know if you want to continue, Arlindo. Rain is irregular.
Yeah, but can you pass the slide, please? I think that online we are not watching.
You are not reading the slide online.
Yeah,
So if you
is locked on the first is locked on the first slide
in your computer, so you don't see them, the slides. Okay,
I see the slide, but
we know this. We don't need the slide. So about about rain. He is from Santo Antão, from Cape Verde. He teaches at the Cape Verde University. So in Santo Antão, rain is very irregular, but it has a fundamental role in the Santo Antão population, no, in the life of Santo Antão population. Can you talk about agricultura de sucalcos, terraces, just to share?
Of course. So agriculture, due to the accident landscape, the cultivated area is not very large. So in the history of Santo Antão agriculture, they built in this what we called sucalcos and terraços. I don't know I forgot the name in English, but this is kind of a type of farming in the slope area of the mountains. So this is the main farming system that we found in Santo Antão. I don't know if I want to continue, Sónia.
I don't know. Please do it. Go.
Yeah, but yeah, just to have this information. So in Santo Antão, we can find two different areas. Like in the north, This is the most rainy area of Santo Antão. And in the south is the more driest area of the island. So in the north we can find more water, and this is this made a different agriculture farming in Santo Antão. So we can find the crops like the maize, beans, cassava, and tropical fruits like the mangoes, papayas, bananas, etc. But in the south, we can find more the crops like maize and beans.
Okay. So we need also to talk about the system of land division. In Santo Antão, for generations and generations, we saw people dying and dividing their lands shared with all the kids, all the children they had. Their children had children, and they divided the land they heritage. So we have lots of small parcels of land. It is very difficult to work in these small parcels with the machinery. So we have lots of owners of small parcels, and this is an important issue to try to understand how difficult is being to dealing with agriculture production in the extensive system. So to continue, we have the owner, the sistema de propriedade. Queres falar tu, Arlindo? Property is the ownership of property. It's mainly mixed. The coexistence of two different forms of the use of the herd. Main ones: private ownership. The owners they do have the legal title and the exclusive right to use, control, and transfer the land. Then we have arrendamento. How do you say that in English? Hiring, maybe hiring. Rent, okay, yeah, of course. Rent, and this involves an agreement between the holder, the owner, and the arrendatário, which I don't know in English. Now, when I don't need, I know it. When I need, I don't know. For a specific period in, but they have to pay a rent. And then we have another kind, which is parceria or meias. Normally, people who we have talked with call it meias. It's a more common word they use, and it is the partnership system of tenure, where the owner of the land allows another person who will work the land to cultivate the land, and they share the costs and the products. So this is the tradition in Santo Antão. So in Santo Antão, the partnership is a very old practical or way of doing in agriculture, especially for those who don't have earth, and but they have manpower. So the way of producing is divided. For instance, half for each, or they can assert other kind of proportions, and it can differ depending on the agreement between the parts and the contributions of the land, land, work, and seeds. So we have this to make a small synthesis. private property, rent and partnership. So private property, we decide what we do with our land. Rent, we rent the land to a person, and that person pays you a fee for the rent. And partnership, or maya, means that I agree with someone, a farmer or someone else, someone of my family, to explore that small plot of land, and we decide in how we will share the work and the profits, and it can be half and half, but it can also be, depends on our agreement, 60-40, 20-80, so it's very different. Now I will give you the word. Albino. Owners are in the diaspora.
Yeah, diaspora.
Major part of the owners.
Okay, and labor challenges. It is so. We can find that. Let me see which slide it is, because it is not function the Zoom slide.
Number 7. Slide number 7.
Number 7.
Because it's easy. Se calhar era isso que eu estava. Okay, Arlindo.
Oh, yeah. So what we see in the field is that there is some challenges in Santo Antão. The main landowners, they are not specifically in Santo Antão, but they are abroad in São Vicente or in Santiago Islands. Even abroad in other countries like Portugal or United States. And what we can see is that there is a huge increasing labor shortages that result from the migration for the other tourist islands, urban centers like the capital Praia, or the other urban areas like in São Vicente Island, even the migration for the other countries. And the other reason is that there is a smaller family sizes. There is a child reduction in the next generation families. And this is also due to the rising education levels. I think that you can pass to the slide.
Okay, now slide number 8. Okay.
Yeah. And what we can see is that the mountainous terrain and extreme land fragmentation is limiting the agricultural intensification, and also hinders the machinery use.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have done some research, and we understand that in 2006, Monteiro had done a study in Santo Antão, and he identified 3 main productive systems. Mariana, Mariam ajude. How do you say that in English? Crops?
Yeah.
Horticultural crops, okay. Sequeiro and
Rain-fed.
Okay.
Rain-fed crops. Yeah, rain-fed crops.
Crops and sugar.
Sugarcane.
Sugarcane, yes. Now, less than 10 years after, our research shows that the producers, farmers, are now investing everything in the production of sugarcane and banana, because they consider these products are very
profitable.
Sorry?
Profitable.
profitable. Yeah, they can sell them very easy, and some of them are also having 2 crops for a year, and they are investing all their efforts in this kind of crops. The productions of banana and sugarcane, that's what the farmers told us, are actually they produce much more of these crops than the sequeiro, which is drier crops. I don't know how to tell them, how to say that. The main finding about all these changes, I don't know if you can continue, Arlindo. Farmers told us that they heard about climate change.
Slide 11, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Farmers, they mentioned that they're hearing about climate change, but they don't link the observed changes to broader climate processes. There is a traditional perception to view the droughts and the rainy years that are changing. But the main concern focus is on increasing the pests. We called here milkpests. I think that we can call this in English mildews. Yeah, yeah, and this is the main concern that are affecting the rain-fed crops and also the irrigated crops in Santo Antão.
Okay, let's go to number 12, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Larger farmers, they may also, let me see what is.
Yes.
Yeah, they may also grow sweet potatoes and the regular potatoes that we called batata comum, yams, tomatoes, onions, and carrots. This is mostly for household consumption. But there is an increasing commercial interest in irrigated crops like tomato, carrots, and other horticulture crops, which which it is, like I said, that usually for household consumption. Yeah.
Okay, so we have 5 minutes. So this is the main thing I think that we need to bring here. Farmers are using irrigation system drop to drop. I think this is the translation, and drop to drop. Okay.
Drip irrigation.
Drip irrigation. Okay. Yeah. So, and this comes from Syria, some projects that after independence, the government invested in Santo Antão, but in the first days, nobody was very interested in that. So some young, very young farmers, very young boys decided to use this, make their own farm and use this irrigation system. And only when the older farmers start to see the success of this and the results of this kind of irrigation, they slowly begin to use this irrigation system. This system helps to produce lots of banana and sugarcane. This is very good. The farmers don't understand or don't link the idea of drip
irrigation.
Okay, drip irrigation to a possibility of saving water. they link this as a way of producing more. They they are always talking about producing more. So I'm going to the other slide. In the last years, the government is trying to do some work about sensibilization to the water, the importance of water and so on, but the population has a very particular perception about the use of water for agriculture, because in the green parts of the land there are lots of fountains, and they don't the major part of the farmers we have talked to, and they think that all those fountains are there forever, and they are, so they don't have a perception about the possibility of a lack of water in the future. Arlindo, my last slide.
Okay.
15.
So, the last slide, right? The preliminary results.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the results that we can achieve is that many landowners are abroad, and they are leasing plots to relative or sharecroppers. There is a labor shortages that making less viable the agricultural system due to the rising wage costs. Also, the continuous cultivation and the fertilizer use have led to a fragile production environments and on declining productivity. And the government and there is a government and NGO efforts to promote crop residue shortage, like the maize, which is using as fertilizer through driven more cost saving and then then ecological awareness.
So these are our main results. We have others, but we didn't have work on them until now. So we are considering these ideas that we need to work with farmers locally in order, as Mariam is doing, in order to give them some information, and more than information, try to make some projects about the notion of the fragility of the environment. But it is very difficult as an anthropology and working in other rural areas in Africa, when the population, it is difficult for some populations to think in the abstract way. So they are forced by their environment and their culture to work every day so they are always counting what the land and the weather can provide them, but making this idea of the climate changes will in the next future change everything. It is a very difficult thing to absorb for the main part of these people we have talked with. So we will continue this work, trying to understand more about this. But these are only the preliminary results. We have more, but we have, until now, we have worked mainly in these ones. That's it.
Thank you very much, Sónia. Thank you very much, Arlindo. Very interesting.